I'm Dan Collins with Mercy Medical Center in Baltimore, Maryland, and you're watching the special holiday edition of Medoscopy. Last Yuletide season, we shared a video retrospective of clips from some of our favorite Medoscopy programs. This year, we thought we'd visit with some of our past guests, whose roots range from England to Bangladesh, Venezuela to Uzbekistan. We hope they can provide a glimpse into how they celebrate the holidays and what the holidays mean to them now. Ready for our "Tis the Seasonal" survey? Let's get started.
My favorite holiday memory has to be spending Christmas at my grandma's house growing up. I remember we would, come there early. I remember seeing all the presents under the Christmas tree. I distinctly remember getting this big aircraft carrier toy that I played with for years to come. And I think my favorite part was, having dinner with everybody and hearing their stories, catching up. For me, the holidays are about a sense of connectedness and gratitude for our family. Whether that's our family or our friends or our work colleagues. We were very grateful to be able to take care of patients. And for me, the most gratifying thing is to see them do well and be happy and to get back to, being able to function pain-free. I was born in Uzbekistan and then I grew up in Russia. And I think in that part of the world and in Europe, what's interesting is a lot of times New Year's is actually a bigger holiday than Christmas. And so, growing up, I remember my mom would host parties with a lot of friends and I'd try to stay up as late as I could and try to stay up with them, but I never succeeded. But it was a good time to, ring in the new year. The other interesting thing about, growing up in Russia is they're Eastern Orthodox, and so they actually have their own Christmas. So it's in January. And so we, sometimes we go to church and celebrate that as well. So it's a little different. And, even to this day, my mom will, she'll kind of reach out to me, hey, do you remember, call me on that day. So this is a photo of some of my family. As I reflect on the holidays and growing up, I think these moments and these early times, being able to spend time with family, you get to appreciate them more and more.
So usually the holidays is about getting together with family and being with everybody in a warm, safe environment. Last year was unique in that I was invited to go to Israel. It was not a normal time to go. When I usually go, we go see family and I will see friends. And I was invited to go in to Israel to help out. It was an interesting time because pretty much the whole airport was empty. The country was quiet because of the war, and we were definitely very busy in the hospital, but we were in the streets. It was almost shockingly quiet. In the hospitals, we all work together. All the doctors, whether they are Christian, Muslim, Druze, Arab, wherever they're from, and sometimes from other places around the world, everybody works together to help. And that's the way it always is, and that's the way it was at this time as well. We were just all there to help patients and bring in healing. One of the cases that I referred to was this the health minister's friend. I saw him. We did a reconstruction, and just recently in September, I went back to Israel, and he had recovered. As a thank you for me helping him to be able to walk and stand and be free of his wheelchair, he gave me the shofar. This is the ram's horn, and typically I blow it during Rosh Hashanah. This is the one that I typically blow, but he gave me this one, and so I dedicated this one to peace and healing. Happy holidays.
Well, I have quite a few holiday memories. I think that one of them that comes to mind is a Christmas that we spent when I was actually in medical school in Manchester. One of our professors decided that he would hold a Christmas celebration for the students who were not originally from England, who didn't have family. And he invited some of us who were local to sort of cook a Christmas dinner with him and spend it with those students. And I remember that day because it was such a fun day. I remember us all sitting around the table and like teaching them about the tradition of pulling Christmas crackers. That sort of just circumvents into what the holidays mean for me. For me, Christmas signifies the birth of Christ. It's a time of hope. It's a time of peace and joy and a time of giving and sharing. In spite of all the things that may have happened throughout the year, this is a time that reminds us that the future still remains bright, and that where there is life, there is hope, and where there is love, love always overcomes all things. One of the things about Christmas that we celebrate at home is putting up the Christmas tree and putting up ornaments. We had a tradition where I would always ensure that the children made ornaments when they were younger. And as they grew older, every year I get ornaments that have a significance to them about what they've achieved throughout the year. We can sort of go back in time every Christmas just to think about how far we've come. You know, as a family together, we can achieve all things.
Every time I have an opportunity to go home to see my parents, it's usually around Christmas time. You know, home is pretty far away from me. My parents live in Mauritius, which is next to Madagascar. So I'm actually leaving in 2 weeks. And they're going to see me and my son for the first time in 2.5 years. It takes about 21 hours to get there by plane, not counting the wait times, and then 24 hours to get back with my 3-year-old. So I'm not looking forward to the plane ride, but looking forward to seeing my parents. So that's what sort of like the holidays remind me of, is like I get to spend time with my parents, and then I go to an island where there's nice beaches, and then I get to eat home-cooked food. So it's just, all those things are just very nice for me. It's usually like New Year's. It's very different. Like they usually have firecrackers for like 10 days, the first 10 days of January. Everybody's blowing firecrackers around their house. So you can buy firecrackers easily in Mauritius and like just have it, like to set off anytime you want. So like for the first few days after New Year's, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get some sleep, but here go the neighbors at like 10 at night, like, setting up fireworks, which doesn't really happen here. I think fireworks is more reserved for 4th of July. It's a little bit different, yeah. And they have extended holidays, like people off of work for like till like mid-January almost, much longer holiday breaks than they have in the States. Every time December comes around, there's always a lot of like outpouring of love. I mean, patients always are, appreciative. A lot of them are appreciative and thankful, and they always say these things, and it means a lot. But around the holiday time is like a time that they feel even more open to say these things and to send cards and write down their thoughts. And that means a lot to me. Like I actually have a whole drawer full of cards, holiday cards, dating back to the time I started here 14 years ago. I've kept all of them. These kinds of things, like a little note, believe, it's just really nice. You're a blessing to me. I just like it just means a lot. I don't know what to say except that I always keep all of these cards because, they mean a lot to me.
In my family, we don't religiously celebrate the Christmas holiday or these holidays in general. But of course, a lot of our friends and neighbors and family friends do and did. So when I was growing up, we were very lucky to actually be in the same neighborhood as one of my mother's colleagues, Dr. John Eckold, who was a neurologist here at Mercy. And so that for a long time, that was our Christmas tradition when I was growing up, was going over to the Eckolds. That's one of my most cherished sort of childhood memories of Christmas. The holidays that people in my part of India where my family's from, we celebrate a couple of different holidays. One of them occurs in basically early October, and that typically precedes the better-known holiday of Diwali, which is the Festival of Lights. There's also the Festival of Holi, which is another well-known Hindu festival, which is more of a rite of spring, so to speak. It's everybody gets out and throws colored powders all over each other, and we do some gift giving around our holidays and things like that as well. So those are all similar to the Christian holidays. Um, so and the thing is, with Hinduism, we don't have an exclusive idea of the divine. So a good Hindu can celebrate Jesus Christ.
Christmas is always a very special season. And I think that the memory that I appreciate the most was the Christmas of 1980. That summer, I began to date the man that I married. By Thanksgiving, I was being introduced as his fiance, so it was just a very quick kind of thing. My family needed to meet him for Christmas. And we got to Caracas, Venezuela, a man who didn't speak a word in Spanish. We arrived to my house, midnight, just like baby Jesus. There we were. And to my biggest surprise, when the door opened, there were my parents, my nieces who lived in our home for a long time with us, my big sister, my younger sister, and behind all of them, my grandmother. My grandmother, we used to call her Petra. Petra is rock. My grandmother was the rock of that family. And from then on, there was a party because there was no understanding of what was being spoken about. Everybody joined the party. My grandmother, who was the traveler, attempted to speak some English. I was very impressed, by the way. We had the greatest meal. I keep that memory very close to me because it was how my husband was received in my home. And to this day, we are always thinking about it. So that is a very fond memory of all about my Christmas. So when I was growing up, it was a party all along the block. So we ate everybody's tamales or everybody's chicken salad, everybody's dessert. It's about sharing, giving, loving, indulging, without the expectation of receiving. You buy the presents, but you don't care if you don't get any because that happiness that you evoke is more than enough.
I have many holiday memories. One from childhood is making tunnels in the snow in Ohio. And I remember gold carpet, black piano, and Christmas tree with presents beneath it in front of a bay window. So that's a memory that I have from childhood about Christmas. And as an adult, it's also peaceful. I remember Mindy Ratner and Candles Burning Brightly. It's a show that comes on Minnesota Public Radio that we listen to. I remember stringing lights. We usually do that for our neighbors also. And the peacefulness of Christmas. After the hustle and bustle, just relaxing, drinking Silk Nog from Trader Joe's. They don't make it anymore. But Silk Nog, fireplace, Christmas tree, and gifts, even as an adult. The holiday season is a time to let people know how much you appreciate them and love them, and also a time to recount your blessings. I just got a card last week from a patient in Minnesota, and also a text yesterday from a patient's husband. This card is a card from Catherine Russell and Chris Patrick. I had the opportunity to aid in the healthcare journey for this patient. It was really encouraging to get a surprise card from them thanking me for helping them. It's gratifying and humbling, and I think we take for granted the impact that we can have in the lives of people.
As my wife would relate, Christmas is my favorite time of year. Time to catch up with family, consign all diets to oblivion, watch the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and remember, as Linus would say, what Christmas is all about. Glory to God, peace on earth, goodwill toward everyone. On behalf of myself, the Mercy staff, and the Sisters of Mercy, we wish you good health and humor, and until we gather again, may the road rise up to meet you.